welcome back to my channel. Lainey here. Today we are going to do a special build. There's going to be a part 1 and part 2 to this build. So go ahead and grab a cozy spot, maybe some coffee, and sit back and enjoy the video. As always, first off, we go ahead and pick out our flooring and wallpaper. For this build, I'm going to use the pale wooden chantilly flooring. I think it looks like waffles. And then for the wallpaper, I am going to use 2 of them. I'm using the large gray brick for one wall, and then I go ahead and use the pink castle wallpaper for the other 3. Next, I go ahead and I adjust the doors where I would like them. This build, unfortunately, it does call for 4 doors, but we are just going to pretend 1 is there. Now I'm going to go ahead and place our windows. I choose to use 2 of the satin draped windows for this, and I do end up using a 3rd later on. I now start to pull out things I feel will fit this build. Starting with some of the countertop, I use a lot of the tiled counters for this build. I thought they would be perfect and they add a lot of fun color. If you haven't already figured out what this build is, this is Monica and Rachel's apartment from Friends. So since we are going to try and replicate that room, I am going to need to go ahead and set items out in very specific places. The first area of this build that I wanted to go ahead and start out with was the kitchen. So I continued to pull out items that I knew I wanted to use. Now with this section, unfortunately, we are going to have to make do with our angled sinks since we can't angle them like it is in Monica and Rachel's apartment. So we just worked with what we had, and to be honest, I think it was perfect. Now just going through the list of all our items, I start to pull out items that I will use in different portions of the build. I figured I just might as well pull them out as I scroll on past them. Now adding our 4th window, I continue with the satin drape window and place it over where it is supposed to be in the kitchen. I then add the Remy bookshelf next to it. The next thing I want to go ahead and do is use some of these funky storage items to go ahead and kind of block off like it's the wall with cupboards. I then use the suspended shelf and place it lengthwise next to the fridge to go ahead and represent that shelf that you see in Monica's apartment. Using the pale wood dresser, I go ahead and place it in position to go ahead and house the TV. I now grab the old bath from the Monsters Inc. collection. I wanted to go ahead and use this as the bathtub for Monica and Rachel's bathroom. Trying to wall off the space, I choose to go ahead and use that vertical wall fountain. It gave the feel of water running in the bathroom, plus it worked perfectly. It was the right size to make a wall. I now grab the white porcelain toilet with the lid up, and we go ahead and start to position it into the bathroom. We have the beautiful mosaic sink from the Little Mermaid collection, and I kind of just place them just right, and it looks like their bathroom. I'm just doing a little bit adjusting of those storage units and that fountain just to get it just right. Next, I start to pull out some seating for the living room as well as the space under the windows. I go ahead and use some of the minimalistic armchairs from the Mickey collection, and I use 2 of them. They have one back towards the windows, and then they have another chair again up where Rachel's room is supposed to be, so I go ahead and place that there. I also grabbed that cute pink ottoman from, I believe, the Beauty and the Beast collection to represent the nice green ottoman they have in there. Unfortunately, we didn't have green. I then go ahead and grab a few different chairs because Monica's chairs are always odd in their kitchen. None of them match, so we had to do the same here. I then go and grab the tufted benches to go ahead and place underneath the window because they do have that window seating area. Now I start to grab the tables I'm going to use in the build. First, I start out with the large coffee table and place it kind of towards that right corner there. I then go ahead and grab the desk and place it in front of the window, but we still have that window seating behind there, so you kind of have to adjust that a little bit. I also do go ahead and grab the small dining table with the tablecloth over it, and I will use that in their kitchen. After placing the table down, I go ahead and start to place the mismatch chairs around the table. Now I go ahead and use a wall-mounted candelabra and place it besides Monica's door. In their apartment, they do have some wall sconces, so I thought this would be the best way to replicate that. I now start to go ahead and fill some space around the walls. I add some artwork as well as some of the different items I want on the walls for the kitchen. One of the items on Monica's wall in her kitchen is a set of plates right by the door. So I wanted to go ahead and replicate that. So I grabbed the decorative plates here. I tried placing them right next to the door, but found it wasn't quite doing it. So I just had to go ahead and adjust everything to make them fit. Next, I go ahead and grab the rectangular coffee table. This is the only one of my coffee tables I had that I felt would best fit and represent their big square one and had that look. I did try putting two together at one point, but they just weren't quite fitting right to make that big square look. So we went with this. Next, we grab some foliage. She does have some plants in her apartment, so I grab a few throughout this build and place them around to fill it in. Now I add some of the custom items I created that include a couch with a blanket over the back. I do add a chair and a rug. All of these were created to try and replicate the items in their apartment. Now I start to go ahead and add some end tables. We use the Regal side table for one side of her couch, and then we go ahead and grab another one, just a basic wood end table for the other side there. Monica's apartment, that's one thing that was great about her apartment, had a bunch of mismatched stuff, plus you've got a roommate, you have to have different items. So we were trying to keep that aesthetic. Now I went ahead and threw a little Easter egg in this build. That Hulu lamp is supposed to represent a lamp Rachel got from one of their neighbors, Mr. Heckles. I chose to use our night and day paintings that I finally got from Scrooge's shop to go ahead and represent the poster that hangs above Monica and Rachel's TV in their apartment. Next, I go ahead and just start to fill in some odd and end items, some more flowers, books, and stuff that would go ahead and fill into the kitchen. Now here I had to go ahead and change the TV. We needed to have a cooking show on for Monica. Now a little walkthrough just to go ahead and get the vibe of the room to make sure we don't need anything else. Well, my little sprites, we have Monica and Rachel's apartment. I am so happy with how this turned out. I had such a fun time trying to create this build, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. If you did, please go ahead and give that video a thumbs up. And if you are new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and notification bell for more content. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll see you at the next video. Bye!